Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown. Here comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, Kate Digba here. Welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast, special Saturday edition. As we're day 3 of the combine. Joey, my man, what is happening? How you doing?
I'm good, man. We're getting through the second to last day of the combine, and we'll see some of the running backs today. Talk about that and some other Eagles news that I think is real interesting to talk about as well. So,
yeah, I totally agree. What's going on, everybody? My basement MMA. What's up, Jadis Young? What's up, Twits? What's going on? Chaos Theory, Teresa, David, Kyle, Robert, Rosie Barnett, Luke, Youngin, Ramal. Thank you guys. Punjab, thank you guys for being here. James, JM, what's up? Chris Scott, member for 30 months. Thank you so much for the support. Eagles draft 22 center or
Cooper DeJean.
DeJean, yeah, cornerback 50, M. Corley, wide receiver, Trotter Jr., and Dorla's edge. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. I mean, we got a lot to talk about because I tell you what, like, I don't know, Joey, like, I really like some of these corners, man. I kind of like Arnold. You know, I like the guys I've seen, man. I think some of these corners could be perfect for us, you know?
Yeah, and I think maybe depending on like with these injuries and our teams are gonna have to check on McKinstry on the broken pinky toe on his foot and stuff like that. I think someone's gonna be available at 22. I don't think all these guys are gonna get at least maybe 4 or 5 guys. I think maybe Nate Wiggins. We'll see what happens, but there's gonna be a lot available.
I mean, Wiggins ran really, really great combine numbers yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
If you take and you look at what the Eagles normally do, they normally go to defensive line here. This is like a total defensive line pick, but I just like when you look like at least going through some of the mock drafts, it just seems like by the time the Eagles pick at 22, you're already talking like 3-4 defensive edge rushers off the board.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
Here's the thing, though, because I'm starting to connect the dots a little bit. I hope it – and, look, I'm not against it or anything, but the rumor is of today, 3 out of 4 of the unofficial visits that are rumored for the Eagles right now, 3 of them are offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you still have a lot more visits, obviously, but will they go down that 2021 route where it was a defensive draft and they go an offensive player? Like they go the total opposite, Howie thinking he's the smartest man in the room in that regard?
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, Howie likes to do that. Like if you're getting a bunch of defensive players off the board and the best offensive players or some of them are there, he's going to that's totally typically Howie Roseman, The only problem is he drafted the wrong guy, but yeah, I mean it's like you said yesterday, it's so hard to know because we're sitting here literally not free agency hasn't even started yet. So it's like it's so hard to figure out where they want to go exactly in the draft, but I have no idea. I also think that there's really a good chance they trade up. If you look at some of these mocks, and we'll see how they shake because these mocks change week to week, but some of those corners will be available in the team's draft. But it seems like some of these ends, like a lot of these ends, like people are talking about Verse and other guys. It looks like a lot of those guys are off the board by the time they pick.
Yeah, I mean, because every time we feel like somebody's going to go, like we feel like there's always guys barely dropping, like we're running out of options. But the Eagles have gotten lucky. The Eagles have gotten really lucky. They've moved up every year, but even they moved up for Jalen Carter, they only moved up a spot. You know what I mean? Just to be, I think they moved up as like a safety policy. They moved up like as for assurance that that nobody was going to get him. So we'll see.
They moved up like one or two spots for Devontae Smith as well.
Yeah,
to block the Giants from getting him. Could you imagine if the Giants had Devontae Smith? I would be so pissed off right now. I would be miserable. It's gonna be interesting though. Isaiah says sign Xavier McKinney. I like the guy. I definitely like him.
Safety's in high regard right now. So, I mean, for right now, like the rumor is that the Eagles have a lot of interest in the safety market right now. I don't think they're drafting a top safety this year. I think they're going to get a free agent, no doubt.
And of course, there's a real, like the buzz that they're saying, like the buzz at the combine is that they think the Eagles are going to bring back CJ which I absolutely love. I think that was the big mistake we made last year defensively.
Mm-hmm.
You need his like I saw a tweet and I wish I remember who tweeted this, but it was like they were showing the 49ers game and they were showing that when Bradbury was getting picked on and nobody was coming to his aid, it was all these 49ers like bumping and like pushing him around. They're like, that would not happen with CJ Gardner-Johnson on the roster.
Mm-mm.
And it's like that's what you need. That's really what you were missing, man. I think CJ Gardner-Johnson, to me, that's who I would target on defense. He's not perfect, but I like his fit for our team.
Yeah, the rumor is right now is that around the combine, everyone's starting to believe. Tony Pauline put out the report that around the league, people think that Chauncey will sign with the Philadelphia Eagles, and he will be a cash bargain too because he was out with an injury last year for most of the season. So this goes up Howie's alley pretty much when it comes to cost effective type players. You can read that. We'll get into more safety stuff.
I mean, I'd make the argument that, like, in some ways, I think he was a bigger loss than Hargrave.
100%.
At least you replaced Hargrave with a top prospect. You didn't do anything to get to fix what's his face. Radiation Bots. Thank you so much for the super chat, my man. He goes, does the CJ rumors have credence? Well, Tony Pauline's pretty good. I mean, pretty reputable.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think, at the end of the day, you never really know until the money is really being offered. But the buzz is that the Eagles are interested, want to get him. Now, you could get another team could sweep in and offer him big money. A lot of crazy things can happen. But I think the acknowledgement that the Eagles are after him really tells you that they think they made a mistake there.
Well, the difference is the Eagles have more breathing room now with the cap space they're going to have. So it's if I sign this guy, I don't know if I can sign that. You have to pick and choose a little bit. Like now you have a little bit more breathing room to say, hey, like, we can go all in here and fill up some spots on our defense. Now, there's a lot of veteran safeties that are available, especially via trade and free agency. So a lot of 28 to 30-year-old safeties are available for this team if that's the direction they want to go. Right. I heard Justin Simmons. That's been going around the combine as well, that there is a rumored that the Eagles have interest in trading for Justin Simmons. Obviously, the Fangio, Justin Simmons, Denver Broncos connection, that just makes sense, right? So, you have to, it's a little bit of an eye-opener, but Justin Simmons is about 18 against the cap. Obviously, they need to free up 16 to 19 million. The Broncos are like over the cap 16 to 19 million, and obviously the Russell Wilson contract is probably not helping them at this point. So I think going forward, like, if Fangio thinks that Justin Simmons can be a guy that's better than what's out there, unless he doesn't want to come back here, I don't know, then maybe they do something like that. I would like them to go a little bit younger, maybe Tracy Walker at 28 coming from the Lions. Eddie Jackson hasn't been great in a while, except Fangio with the Bears. So, there's a lot of players out there. It's a lot.
Yeah. My thing is this. I think especially when it comes to the safety position, man. What is I mean, Justin Simmons, 30 years old.
I
Do
know.
we really need another 30-year-old safety? Like, I'm tired of it. Like, let's just pay the extra money and get a guy, that's got 4 more years on the, what I mean, before they even hit 30.
Mhm.
I'm just tired of like going the cheap route at safety.
I know.
It's killed us. We lucked out with Malcolm Jenkins. All right. But these guys aren't Malcolm Jenkins.
No.
All right. They're just not. So I'd rather go a CJ Gardner-Johnson in his 20s. I'd rather go Xavier McKinney, somebody like I want to go young, AB3 says, I want CJ Gardner-Johnson. We need him to play in his attitude. His attitude, it was a huge miss.
Yeah.
Last year. Hey, look, Howie Roseman is here. What is going on, Howie Roseman? Hey, thank you for super. Hey, Phil, can you unblock me? Unblock you? Well, are you on Joe? Is he on your channel doing that?
I don't think so.
I like when people say, "Hey, Philly, can you unblock me?" No, he's literally on my channel asking to be unblocked. Dude, you're not blocked, or I wouldn't be able to read this. It wouldn't have showed up. You're not blocked, my friend. He's on my channel asking me to unblock him. But if he was blocked, I wouldn't be able to see him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Luke Bradshaw, favorite super chat, goes, what up, guys? Time to bring back CJ. I agree. Draft Mitchell. I like him. Yeah. Cornerback from Toledo. Trotter or Cooper. And a wide receiver in a second. McConkey or Worthy is perfect. I like it. I mean, I definitely like it. The one thing I'm starting to wonder, though, is like I look at these running backs, and I'm not sure. Like, I'm not saying that they're bad running backs. There's some good running backs out there, but I don't know, man. When you look at the free agency market and the amount of talent at running back, and then you look at what's in the draft, I almost rather go free agency, Joey.
Oh, there's oh yeah. I mean, if the Eagles didn't have much money, then I would say, don't hit the free agent market. But there's too much talent. I mean, do you really want to produce somebody right now? Or are you ready for this offense to go off the bar right now? And you're trying to get a Super Bowl this year. You know what I mean? Like, I think they have to go all out at running back and just pay somebody. And they need 2 of them. Even if you sign one guy, and I don't know if they're trying to get a power guy and more of a dual threat guy. They want like a mismatch of guys, a mix and match of guys. I don't know. I haven't been thoroughly like, oh my God, about these running backs in this draft too much. No. Because I feel like there's too much on the market that there's way too much there that they can get.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like I said, when you're this far away from the draft, everything is so hard to really project. But I think they're probably decent running backs. But I mean, I don't think it's anything like last year where you're talking about John Robinson and Jamar Gibbs. You don't have that talent.
We saw it with B. John. We saw it. We told everybody. Everybody.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I thoroughly believe if Jalen Carter was not on that board, I thoroughly believe they were taking him. There's no doubt in my mind. And he's going to be a great player. But I don't know that you have that running back. But if you look at free agency, I mean, dude, if you just spend a little more money, you could get a really good running back. You could bring back DeAndre Swift.
I know.
Tortyville says all out at running back better not be Tony Pollard. No Tony Pollard. I do not want Tony Pollard. All right, I do not. If Kelmore brings him here, then Moore needs to go sooner or later. Agreed. I agree. I don't want him.
It's a possibility, but
I know. But he's not. He stinks. I'm sorry. I think he was complimentary of Zeke, and that was before his injury. But I mean, you watch him last year. He was ineffective. I don't want him, dude. I
get it.
LJ says sign Frankie Louvu and Jordan Brooks, and the linebacker position is fixed. Draft is weak at the position. Lots of good linebackers in free agency, though. Kind of like that in with the running backs as well. I mean, the running back. I don't think I've ever seen a free agent running back group as talented as what we got here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a deep free agency class at running back.
Mm-hmm.
Draft wise, I don't know. I don't think we need. I honestly would lean towards just free agency addressing the running back, and then really focusing on the other positions in the draft.
Yeah, there's way too much. Like, if you want to bring in some of your own, like I said, like DeAndre Swift, like he was just here last year. Like, how much does he really command? Like, well, we went through this whole thing yesterday on how much these running backs are commanding, and we know that's not a high. There's no promise towards how much they're going to get paid. They're not getting paid over $10 million, maybe 10 or, like you said, 10 or less, from what Adam Schefter said.
Yeah,
I don't see that market being strong for running back. It's not going to be a strong market.
no. It's a devalued position, and it's going to continue to be for at least a while longer. So I think, Howie Roseman, when he feels like something's a bargain, he'll do it. So that's what we have to watch in terms of running back. I think if you said to me, all right, you have to bet, who do you think the Eagles are bringing in at running back? Not that this is not who I want, but I think Austin Eckler is the guy you got to watch out for. Because we have heard that the Eagles have liked him in the past. Kellen Moore was with him last year. I do not want him.
How old is he now?
I don't know. I have to check. But I mean, I don't think he's bad. But there's guys I'd rather get. Like, I'd rather bring Swift back. I don't know, man. I really like the idea of the whole Swift Henry thing, man. Like, I could get by that. I could get into that. AB3 says, no matter who's on this team, we need to play with heart and creative play calling, as well as playing win. I agree. And I think hopefully with the new coordinators, we'll see that. We'll see better creativity in plays, better play calls, and I think the players will stay more engaged, because I think the players didn't believe in the play calling. And I think that started all the checkout,
He's 28, by the way.
28. Ain't bad. But, to me, I don't hate Austin Eckler, but
Swift is 25.
What's that?
Swift is 25.
Yeah, Swift is 25, and he wasn't overused last year either.
Mm-hmm.
No, they got Blake Corum on right now, the TV, the running back. He considered, I guess, the top running back prospect. The only thing, he's like 5'8", 5'7", 5'8".
Small, yeah.
Yeah, but he's like 210 pounds. So it'll be interesting. Mr. Rudy Poo says Eckler is 30.
Really?
Is he?
Did I read the wrong thing?
Let me see. Let me see what Eckler is. He's 28. May 17th, 1995.
Yeah.
He might have aged like a 30-year-old by now, though. Running backs, 28 is like 32 at other positions. I'd rather keep Swift over Eckler. Me too. Man, I would love.
He's not, and Eckler's not more. And Eckler is.
He's a great out of the field.
He's good. Like, he's good, but I don't think he's not close to being athletic as Swift is.
He's really good catching. He's a really good receiver out of the backfield. I mean, he does a lot of good things. I don't hate Austin Eckler. I just, for the what money wise and stuff, I'd rather bring Swift back.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's amazing, man. As little as they use Swift, man, he still had over 1,000 yards. It's crazy. Fabio David Super Chat. He goes, McCaffrey is a lower version of Westbrook. Christian McCaffrey? McCaffrey's pretty damn good, man. I mean, he was legitimately almost won an MVP. Yes, get Johnson back, is Deion said. I agree. Max Tate looks great. Philly watch. I will definitely check him out. Benson might go undrafted. See, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's good. It's going to be interesting. I still think we're going to see heavy presence on defense in this draft early, And I think early in free agency, well, you know what? That's the surprise. If they go heavy defense, right? If they go heavy defense, especially in the draft, if that's their plan, is it possible they throw some money on offense? I mean, where did they throw most of their money last year? They didn't. They got Bradbury. They re-signed Bradbury. They re-signed Slay. They used the first round pick on a defensive tackle. I mean, dude, if you think about all the resources we put at defense, we've got little to show for it. I mean, we're overpaying guys 30 years old. We're paying them tons of money. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, most of the money's gonna come from the defense, but I think there's got to be a like I don't know if they want to produce a wide receiver 3. I feel like they with the money that they have, and I don't think they have to spend a lot offensively. Like might have to spend a few bucks here and there, but I don't think it's going to be anything high priced for a running back. It's not going to be high priced for a wide receiver 3. Will be interesting which route they go. I think there will be guys available, and there is up to Kellen Moore. Does he want somebody more proven, or does he want to go into the draft and produce a guy? Maybe get someone in the second round. I don't know, but.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. Luke of Hazard, David Super Chat, my man. He goes, "What up, fellas? Hope all's well. Anyone you like Philly making trade up for? I like Arnold Latu and Edrin Cooper so far. Trade wise, I think if you want to secure one of those corners like Arnold or Latu, although I saw a mock draft where they had Latu going like I think it was like 7 or 8.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my gosh, if he goes that early, but yeah, I would agree. I would agree with those guys. I think Cooper. I don't think Cooper's going in the first round, so I don't think you need to worry about him in the first round. The question is will they take one of those second round picks and try to make a huge jump up in the first? What if you took your first and your second? How far can you get up into the draft? Could you get into the top 12?
Yeah, it's a little steep, but maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Toivo says, I think we get a couple pieces on offense because our best chance to win next year will be high-scoring games. This defense is 2 years plus away from being rebuilt. That's my thoughts, too. Similar to kind of like last year, like draft and get young defensive players that you might need to develop and then take advantage. And we did, it was the same philosophy last year, but they really didn't do it. And then, let your offense carry you. Your offense is where all your talent is. I like that idea, to be honest. Mr. Rudy Poot Davis Super Chat. He goes, we better not draft a backup at number 22. That means offensive line or a defensive line. We better get us a starter at cornerback, safety, linebacker. We have too many holes to take a luxury pick. I would love to see. Well, here's what I'll say. And thank you for Super Chat. If the best player available is an offensive lineman, I think because you don't have the luxury, I think you got to take the most talented player. Now, I don't think it'll work out that way. I think like a cornerback is like a perfect situation where I think there are corners like Arnold and stuff that you could literally draft and probably start day one. And that's what I want. That's what I want them to do,
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm not passing up on talent. I'm just not.
No, you can't. Yeah, like they can't be picky. Like luxury is luxury, but like you got to take the best guy on the board. Like it's gonna be tough. Like I know you want to take an edge rusher, but he's gonna be more rotation behind. You take Latu, just say if Latu drops, you can take him. But just because he's in, it's more of a you can't look at it just for this year. You have to look at it for down the road. That's what I'm saying. Like if you take Latu, he's a rotational guy. He's luxury. It's not luxury because it's gonna be holes there after this year, especially if we don't even know what's happening with Reddick. If Reddick's not even here at this point, then it won't be luxury. But if Reddick is here and they draft Latu, then Sweat's going to be gone. BG's not even here. So it's just best talent available, dude. Best on the board. Got to do it.
Yeah,
Can't be
mean,
picky that way.
I don't think it'll work out. Offensive lineman is the best player available at the time. I think it'll be corner. I really think those. I like some of these. Like, man, I like these corners. Kid from Toledo, man. I was watching, him drills. He's very smooth. Arnold had a bad 40 time, but man, he can play though. I don't really. I think the 40 sometimes is, 40 speed and then game speed are two different things. But I like that kid Arnold, man. I like some of these corners that are coming out. I really do.
Quinton Mitchell's looking really good. He had the fastest. He had the fastest back pedal, I think, for 2 reps. He had the fastest back pedal.
He also I think did the most reps at 225. I think he did 20.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's, I like that kid a lot.
So
I would trade up for him.
So if like a Tyler Guyton offensive lineman was there and you had one of these, you had to pick and choose out of these 4 cornerbacks, like, are you picking offensive line over one of these 4 corners, or are you picking corner?
How much of a difference in terms of where I look at them talent wise?
Well,
like, what's the gap talent wise?
You're all right. So you're choosing between the best offensive tackle in the draft and one of the top corners, a top 4 talent that's in the draft right now. They could start right now.
Well, so I'm saying that you're saying that
would you
best at their positions, but overall, who's got the higher upside?
Yeah, I'm saying this. I'm saying, are you going to take like the best? Would you take the best offensive lineman out of Wiggins, Arnold, Quinton Mitchell? Would you take the best offensive lineman over those few guys, McKinstry and some of those other guys?
I need to do more research on the alignment to tell you for sure.
Okay,
but most likely I would go corner.
Okay,
sorry,
I made that confusing,
but like if you're telling me like, here's a tackle a right tackle that. Now, see, right tackle you don't really need, though. So I probably have to, because I think the talent is similar in terms of ceiling, I would go corner. Like, I like the idea of Mitchell. Like I would trade up to like 15, 16 for him. You get him, you start him right away. See, and it's like what Torteville was saying earlier. You get the young defensive players, you plug them in, you let them play and learn. And you let your offense carry you. So go spend money and get Derrick Henry and Swift and have an unbelievable offense. And then let the young defensive players over the next few years, let them develop into the role, And then when, you have to start shifting things around, your defense will be ready to go. I like that idea a lot. I mean, we talked about that last year, but they didn't do it because they went out and they brought back Slay. They brought back Bradbury.
Mm-hmm.
They brought these guys back. But that's exactly what we were talking about. Remember, like if Carter's not there, it was like if Carter's not there, Will Anderson not there. Remember, we were like Will Anderson, Carter off the board. We're going Bijan. And then we're going to let our offense carry us until the defense catches up with young talent.
Right.
They didn't do that though, But I like the idea of that though. I mean, I think that's the best way to handle it. Mr. Rudy Poot, thank you for the super chat. He goes, if Deshaun, Arnold, Kool-Aid, Wiggins, Mitchell are all there at 22, we better take one. It would be irresponsible to take Guyton, who is a project. You see, it's a project. Yeah, that's the thing. I think the question is who's the best out of those corners? Because I like them all. I like Arnold really impressed me yesterday.
Solid
even
thing.
though I know people were saying, I think he ran like a 4.6. His 40 time was horrible. But I mean, when you look at the tape and you watch him, I think he's going to be good. But Mitchell, man, to me is like, he might not. I don't want to say. I don't want to throw big names out there, but I think he's got a lot of talent. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
The thing, I forgot, and I'm sorry whoever said it earlier. The thing with if you got one of those corners, I believe they could start. Right? Let's say you got Mitchell, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get Mitchell, you start him. Now, you Bradbury's gone after post June 1st, or let's say however they do it. Now you have Slay for 1 year or whatever, and then Ringo comes right in. Now you have Ringo and this kid. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have. I think the Eagles. I said this the other day. I said the Eagles, if they hit on corner in the first round, and then Slay leaves after, he's got 2 years left, and if he leaves after this year, okay, you have the best depth at cornerback, and you have guys that have, obviously we didn't have the right defensive coordinators that put them in good positions, but Eli Ricks flashed, not enough, obviously, but he flashed, and Keely Ringo, I thought, played really 2 strong games under Matt Patricia. Those 2 games were like, damn, he's getting there. He's doing his thing. So, I mean, there's good promise, but they just need more time. I think they have perfect depth with Isaiah Rodgers coming in. I think there's a lot of good depth at corner right now to keep in camp for the competition this offseason. And if they put a number 1 corner into the fold for the future, then great. You know what I mean? You pair him up with Slay for the year, so I feel really good about it. It sucks because I really want them to go corner first round, and I just feel like they're not going to go in that direction. I just don't feel like they're going to go that way. I hope it changes. If one of those guys drops, dude, like it's hard for me not to take. It's hard for me not to take one of them, especially if Bradbury's cut. Like, well, the thing is, we're not going to know if Bradbury's going to be on the roster. And there's no rumors coming out that he's leaving, we're all going to think he's going to be here. And we're all going to be flipping out. Like, I can't believe they're not going to draft one of these guys at 22 or move up for one guy. So I'm hoping, I wish they can get this Bradbury thing done early. This way we have an indication that we know what they're going to do, but I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Rudy Pataver, super chat, my man. He goes, actually, only exceptions is if Latham, Fuaga, Joe Alt, and Fashano are there at 22. Then it's okay to take them, not the other guys. Well, so, yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's just a talent thing, what you're saying. So I get it. I mean, yeah, I mean, listen, they haven't drafted a cornerback since Lito Shepherd. They haven't. So what the Eagles like to do in these situations is they either trade up, they trade back, or they take a lineman, whether it's offensive or defensive line. I just think when, I was looking at the NFL.com, I was looking at some of the mock drafts. I'm telling you, by 13, 14, there are 3-4 defensive ends or edge rushers off the board. So why I want to really take the 5th, 6th best edge rusher,
no,
instead of the best corner or 2nd best corner draft. No,
But here's another thing about these mock drafts. Every time I hear too much of one name or one position going to the Eagles, I feel like it's the complete opposite. So when I hear corner nonstop going to the Eagles, I feel like it's not going that direction every single time. It's McKinstry or it's the 2. It was Quinn Mitchell and McKinstry. Those are the 2 names from at least in the combine. I'm reading the bottom here because I've seen it the last couple of days. It's been those 2 guys linked to the Eagles. And when you hear too much of one position, I can't. It's always the total opposite. They always do something else.
I agree. And I've never seen a team get more defensive backs thrown their way or drafted, and they never take them. Well, I think I saw Tortiville. I think it's scrolling up in the chat. But what about wide receiver in the first round? Would that be a surprise? You draft a wide receiver in round 1, who in the future will replace AJ Brown once Devontae's contract kicks.
That's another thing. Another thing is free agency and how it dictates where they go. If it's looking like they'll maybe get another weapon, if maybe everybody gets signed at wide receiver 3, and maybe they want to get that future guy as their number 1. And if they're not going to hold on to AJ Brown anymore, then we'll see. But that's a big one. That's with the holes you have on defense, that's a big one as of right now from what it looks like, because we haven't been through free agency yet. So imagine they go another receiver.
Yeah, you don't know. But I'm just saying, it's weird because the Eagles, they go long gaps of not picking certain positions. They just don't do it. And then, when's the last time? I can't even tell you the last time they took a linebacker in the first round. It doesn't happen, you know.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I mean, dude, I like the idea of going out and get Derrick Henry and Swift both in free agency and bringing them in, and then saying, all right, we got those guys, and then we'll, you know, then sign like a linebacker, a mid-tier linebacker, and then turn around and draft early defense and guys that are going to be plug in and going to play, and then let your offense carry you.
Dude,
I mean, dude, why
we're
not?
we're in a really good spot. Besides like a couple positions on offense, we're in a really good spot right now because you're gonna have a lot of cap, and you're gonna have the draft compensation. Not only you can go after defensive guys in free agency, but you can go after defensive guys in the draft. Like you could double down and have everything ready. I mean, they can fill almost every spot because your offense is pretty much almost set. Besides some depth pieces, running back, and obviously, see, depending on what Jason Kelsey's doing, like you're pretty much set, dude. Like they could double down on defense easy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, here's the thing: you're paying Bradbury and Slay a ton of money, right? And we say that they don't use them right all the time, and then we talk about their age and how much money they're getting. The reason why we're paying those guys a lot of money is because we did not draft well in the draft. We did not draft well. So when you don't draft positions well, what happens is Howie has to go out and spend money in free agency to hide the fact that they missed on a draft pick.
Right.
And that's truthfully what happened. And so therefore, now because you're missing on guys and draft picks, you're spending, we're paying these guys a lot of money. We got to hit and get, like, we got to draft rookie corners that need to come out of our system and be with us and play in a rookie contract. I really think the more I think about what Tortville said earlier, the more I thought about what we talked about last year, I think it applies to this year as well. I think you might as well shore up your offense so there's no weaknesses, and then spend draft picks early on defense and let those guys play and let your offense carry you.
It makes sense. It totally. I think if Hargrave didn't leave, or he had to, but if Hargrave was still on contract, it probably wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't have had to go out and feel like they were pressured to sign Bradbury because Chauncey didn't sign. They signed Bradbury as a panic move, I guess. I mean, we were surprised over it. We didn't think it was going to happen. Because he was going to get a lot of money, and he actually took less money, to be honest. He would have got paid 15, 16 a year. He got paid like 12, 13. So pick and choose, man, because you want a corner in the building have him in the building for 4 to 5 years. This draft is perfect for it. It's perfect.
I mean, if you look at our cap situation, look at all the guys, right? Besides Jalen Hurts, look at all the guys that we're paying the biggest money to, right? A.J. Brown, Hassan Reddick, Darius Slay, James Bradbury's making, I don't think he's making a ton, but if you look at all the big cap hits, they're all guys that we had to bring in from somewhere else. And that's because we didn't do well in the draft. So the best way I think to handle it is take your offense, make it unstoppable, man. And then go and get younger on defense. Now, you still could go out in free agency and get one giant defensive signing. You still could do that. But I think if you go early defense with guys that are actually going to come in and play, I mean, just think about it. In a few years, let's say you draft Mitchell, and in a few years, maybe 2 years down the road, you've got Ringo and Mitchell are your starting corners. You're not going to be paying them hardly anything.
Mm-hmm.
I
get it.
I think they should have. We talked about this last year. This was the whole framework for why we were like, if Will Anderson and Carter are not on the board, you go Bijan Robinson, because we wanted to be able to get younger in defense and get playmakers in. Instead, we're talking about we can't trade. We can't get rid of Slay because of contract. Bradbury, we have to wait till post June 1st. We don't even know if Hassan Reddick's going to be here. And it's all because we're paying them too much money because we didn't hit on our picks.
But then the scheme pisses me off because I feel like if you're not playing press, and I've said this every single day, said this yesterday, if you're not playing press, then what is, you know what I mean? Like, why are you putting money into a guy that you're not going to be playing press with? Like, if that's the strong, what's the strong suit of a first round corner? It's press, it's man coverage. Like, so how do you go about that with this scheme? Then you just get the best guy in the second, third rounds for the best zone guy. I mean, is that what you're? I don't.
Yeah,
know.
I don't know either. Yeah, I mean, the thing is like I've never understood how they use Slay. Anyways, if you look at him in the Minnesota game 2 years ago when he shut down Justin Jefferson, he shattered him, like you said. Like, that's how you should be using Slay, but they don't like to do that. So this goes back to the scheme and to the coaching and the responsibility of Fangio to take the talent around him and start molding his defense and what he does according to the talent. And the coordinators and coaches that can't do it aren't great coaches, in my opinion.
Get it.
Yeah, Maddox is injury prone. I agree. Joey's right. Playing weakness instead of strength. Yes, zone and interceptions. Yeah, listen, it's one of those things that has confused. There's a lot of things that they do that confuse. Like, why do you have Rashad Penny here and not use him? Why do you have, like, why do you not use Swift more? Like, why is Swift out on? Why do you take Swift out of the game on third down? I like what? Because people say, "Oh, Gainwell is a better pass blocker," but he stinks at pass blocking.
Yeah.
So I don't get it.
I'm getting really uncomfortable that the scheme is over the players, and that's what's really annoying me right now. Really annoying.
Yeah. Ernst Wall says that's why we don't need elite corners because of the scheme. Just solid players that can tackle and don't get beat over the top. Yeah, well, you need the right kind of corner. You need corners that can play like zone coverage, but they already paid those guys. They could have let those guys walk last year, both of them. They didn't. They could have paid CJ Gardner-Johnson and let both those guys walk, and we probably would have been better off.
Yeah.
Is Calvin Ridley? Is Calvin Ridley?
He is.
Is he a free agent?
He is.
Yeah, it might not be a bad.
He had over 1,000 yards though. Like,
see, somebody will pay him.
He'll get money. Yeah, that's the problem.
John Jones, what's up, my man? He says it's a Howie thing. Yeah, they cut Kevin Byard and saved $13 million. But why did they have to go out and get Byard? Because they didn't do a good enough job drafting safeties. This is why you have to draft well. Because when you draft well, then you don't have to go spend as much money in free agency,
Yeah.
That's really the thing. You look at the whole, like I said, look at the roster. Look at the biggest cap numbers. They're all coming pretty much from guys that we had to bring on from other teams. Byard was let go, not Bradbury.
Yeah,
Unless Bradbury was just let go, like right now. But you would lose. I was looking at it. Yes, let me pull over the cap. Here, actually, let me do it so I can screen share it. But Bradbury's numbers are a little bit like, I don't know how they're going to cut him. Let me see here. I'm going to pull this up. All right, so let me screen share this.
See 4.3 against the cap this year.
Who, Bradbury?
Yeah, he's 4.3 against the cap this year. 25, he's 7.8 against the cap.
All right, so let me pull Bradbury here. You're seeing the screen, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so Bradbury's 4.3 against the cap this year. Now, if you were to cut him pre-June 1st, that would put you in a $10 million hole. It'd be $15 million in dead money, and then you'd be in the hole $10 million. Now, if you cut him post June 1st, you're still going to lose $6 million in cap space. So how do you even get rid of him?
You extend him a couple of years, and you cut him. You extend him. You spread out the dead money, and this way it'll be in the single digits, and you'll just have to eat it up. I mean, if it's in the single digits, then you're fine. They're going to have to extend him. They're going to have to extend him a couple of years and then cut him. They'll have to use that loophole.
If they could trade him post June 1st, they could save $2.7 million.
The hell's going to trade for him?
Nobody. Yeah, they're going to have to restructure him, or they're going to have to eat it. But yeah, I mean, Bradbury is
it's a bad contract, dude. It's
a bad contract. But look at these contracts, right? You got Hassan Reddick from another team. You got Lane and Jalen, they're Eagles. The AJ Brown, another team. Darius Slay, other team. Mulata, Kelsey, they're Eagles. Avonte Max contract's got to go.
Yeah, he's got to get out.
He's got to go. He's got what is he? $9 million. So Avonte Maddox, if we look at his contract real quick, so if you cut him pre-June 1st, you save 1.9. You cut him June 1st. Look at after June 1st, it's $7.1. Yeah, I think Avonte Maddox.
He's got to go.
I think he's got to go, man. I think.
There's no way. There's no way. I mean, Zach McPherson. I mean, you got two nickel corners. You got two guys coming off ACL. I mean, not ACLs. You have McPherson coming off an ACL, which he'll still be here. But Maddox, like 4 injuries in a couple of years.
Well, I think Rodgers is kind of gives you an opportunity with Maddox.
Yeah.
Listen, if they can restructure Maddox and keep him, and he wants to stay on the roster. But my hope is that Rodgers is your starting nickel corner.
Hopefully.
Robert says Howie said last year the coaches didn't give the young players enough playing time. They didn't. I mean, I think they should have started way earlier. But we need I want one of those corners that you draft and you just put them in and start them day one. Coaching's going to make this team so much better. It's true. It's really going to be a fascinating free agency because there's so much that can happen, with this team.
True.
And if you guys are new to the channel or you're just in here, make sure you hit the like button on both channels. Click the link in description. Go sub up my man Joey Shakes. Thank you guys for being here today.
Hey guys.
Well, some of the receivers are running now. Cornelius Johnson's running. Xavier Legette is coming up. I want to see him run because I want to see. They're going to go to commercial. Let's go to commercial when I want to.
I want to see Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey from Georgia is definitely one I want to see.
Legette's going, then McCaffrey, and then him. So the next 3 runs are interesting. See, yeah. The more I think about it, the more I don't know what their strategies are going to be. I really think if you had to say, if I had to guess one player that I think they're going to go hardcore for in free agency, I think it's Van Ginkel. I think Van Ginkel is a short thing.
I've almost at this point believe he's a Philadelphia Eagle right now. I just feel like it's there. I feel like it's going to happen.
Yeah. Do you think they go to commercial? There's no doubt about it. They will go to commercial right before the Eagles pick. Every year without fail. And then they'll come out and start to announce and have all this like extracurriculars. It's always when we pick. We have younger cornerbacks on the roster who are more durable than Maddox, and some have some high upside gamble now. You think you could trade Maddox, Joey? You think you could get something for him in a trade?
Maybe. I mean, but the injury history might turn off teams. That's really the only issue is injury history. I mean, we would keep him if he was more available for us, but you have no depth at nickel either. I mean, McPherson would have been the backup guy, and then he got hurt. So you had to rotate. You don't rotate inside corners. They were rotating guys. You can't do that. How many weeks did we have a consistent group that was together? We barely all year.
Yeah. No, let's face it. We were a mess last year. Defensively, we were a mess. Michael Goldberg, thank you for the super chat. I'm going to let Joey take this one. Do you guys really want Slay as a mentor?
That's a troll question.
That's Joey. That's for Joey.
No.
Joey's about to go over to his house and help him move. Are you kidding me?
Go hang out with your wife. Go eat her banana pudding. I don't care what you do. Fuck off. Get out of Philadelphia. People hate me for it, but I don't care.
Listen, I don't. It doesn't. It's not a good look. You know,
It's not.
It's not a good look. You know, and it really makes you appreciate the guys that we do draft, and why it's important to keep them. Because, I mean, I swear, I know 61, 62 years old, Darius Slade's going to be having nightmares about the Eagle fans.
Dude, you're one of the highest paid players on the team. You have a C on your chest, and the shit that you say about the fans, like
Leggett ran a 4.47. I think he's like 6'3". Luke McCaffrey's running. He runs a 4.47. Now McConkey's up, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. They're going to show McConkey. Did he run? Okay, here's McConkey. 4.43.
He's fast, dude. He's fast.
Ooh. He's not related to Phil McConkey, is he?
I don't know.
Phil McConkey, I couldn't stand as a Giant. Chris Scott says Van Ginkel being. Oh, Van Ginkel's already an Eagle. You know, there's never been more sure. VJ, my man, member for 30 months. Thank you so much. He goes, "What up, gang? Kool-Aid or Surtain Jr.?" I would listen. Surtain is a great player, but you got to pay him big money, and I don't think Denver's going to trade him. Donnie Mitchell's running right now. 4.35.
Dude. What are they feeding these guys?
4.35. See, man, I don't know, man. I'm thinking about this.
Oh, no.
If you have, dude, it would be ballsy to take a receiver in the first round. You know? Donnie Mitchell's 6'4". All right. I'm drafting Donnie Mitchell. I'm done. Dude just ran a 4.3. What did I say? A 4.34? And he's 6'4"?
6'2".
6 foot. Why they got it listed?
6'2" and a half. Donnie Mitchell 6'2" and a half.
Why they got it listed here? 6'4". Okay, so 6'2", 196, 4.35, dude. Why not grab him in the first round? Turn around, get a couple running backs, and then just the rest of the draft defense. Now, when A.J. Brown, if he goes in a couple years because of contract, you got a guy to go replace him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? Toivo said, Lad McConkey isn't related to Phil. I just checked. Thank God. Then I'm okay with him because Phil McConkey may be my most hated rival player of all time. He drove me nuts. Davey just simply puts it like how he's just going to screw this draft up.
Isn't Keon Coleman he's another big receiver too?
Yeah. I want to see him run. A couple of these guys I wanted to see these big guys run. But man, Donnie Mitchell 4.35. Have you seen the YouTube Rage compilation of you versus? No, I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I remember having them, but I haven't seen like if somebody made it. No, I'll have to check it out.
We were on stream. When he got the 2-year extension.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I have that on my channel. Yeah.
Mr. Rudy Poot, thank you for the super chat, my man. He goes, my issue with Slate is the same issue Patricia had with him in Detroit. He keeps meat riding opposing players, no competitiveness. Yeah, I don't like the friendly stuff either. I don't. I hear you. I hear you with that. Nicky Cunningham, what's going on? Youngin says, did Xavier run the 40 at Philly? I don't know. I don't know if I saw Xavier. Yeah, I think he did actually.
Not, yeah,
I think he ran a 4.47, but I'm not sure. Keon Coleman's up right now.
Yeah. Well,
All right, so this is the guy you're talking about. There's another tall wide receiver.
mm-hmm.
See, man, I think the Eagles got to try to think a little differently. You know, try to take advantage of your strengths. Here's Keon Coleman running. He ran a 4.62.
Okay.
That's not compared to what some of the other guys, 4.62.
Okay.
Snead still could happen, small. I wonder how they would do the whole Snead thing, because if you're playing Slay what you're paying, we just looked at Bradbury's contract. How are you going to pay Snead?
I don't know, but
dude, Saquon Barkley is going to be an Eagle.
Oh my God. I thought
I'm saying, dude, I'm just saying, like, something weird is going to happen. Something's going to happen like that. I feel like
I thought that was like your dark horse
box is coming, huh?
Oh, that's outside the box. Yeah, you said that was going to be like the most outside the box move that nobody.
Yeah, it's an outside the box move. Yeah. Michael Goldberg said, "I missed the super chat. I'm sorry, buddy. Let me see if I can find it. I thought I read it. No, we read it, man. We read this. I guess you missed our answer, but we did read your super chat. I said Joey's going to answer this question. And do you guys really want Slay as a mentor?" And I let Joey answer. And Joey said, no, basically he's ready to move him out of Philly right now. He's got the truck ready to go. So I think that answers it, right?
The truck is warmed up.
I don't view him as that. No. You know what? To me, what he said, like, I don't know. It's just like, whatever, dude. Just play football. You know, complain. You don't like us. You know, use the fans as motivation. I don't care. You know what I mean? Use us as motivation. Just go play well.
He's speaking negative about it, like he was complaining about, or the Eagles. You know, the crowd was yelling to run the football. You know, run the ball in that game, and the crowd like all said run the ball.
Yeah.
You know, like,
well, then he pointed out, and then we ran the ball and didn't get any yards, and they still cheered. I tell you, the Eagle fans have scarred Darius Slay. There's no doubt. J.S. Young says, if Dallas Turner is there, do you take him? Yeah, but he won't be there. I don't think there's I don't think there's a mock draft I've seen where Turner's not top 12 to 13. You know? Philly 500 would know about Phil McCockey. Yeah. Jeez. Thanks, Dad. Phil McCockey.
Did you see that the Cowboys lost Tyron? They're letting go of Tyron Smith.
Yeah, I saw that. Did you see Jerry Jones making babies at 80-something years old, 8,000 years old? Yeah, he's got to take a paternity test because apparently he knocked up a 27-year-old.
Who the fuck would touch that?
Who touched? Hey, man, that's 8,000 years of just marination. 8,000 years of marination. Jerry Jones is well marinated.
I guess money helps.
Yeah, you would say they don't care what it look like. They don't care. Dude, you could have a nose on the side of your head. They're all about it. Jerry Jones is well marinated, dude. 8,000 years old. Oh my God. This draft is pretty deep. So was Jerry Jones, apparently. It's crazy. Yeah, Dallas they got their own issues, you know. And it says, how are you all saying Reddick gets traded to the Cowboys? Your thoughts on trade? Well, there was a report from Sports Illustrated about that. That wasn't like us. We talked about a report from Sports Illustrated that the Cowboys are trying to find a way to trade for Reddick. I don't know. Thoughts on trade for Park? Listen, I would love. I think Micah Parsons is a hell of a player, and I think he wants to be an Eagle. I would take Parsons in a second, but they're not trying to trade him. They were talking about having both those guys for a year. But I mean that came from Sports Illustrated. That had
right.
The thing is this time of year, you gotta kind of got to comment on the stories that are out there and give your opinions on them because it's the off season.
Yeah, it's
Bradbury
all
stunk last season. What was that?
No, I'm just saying it's all speculation and rumors.
Yeah.
Like this is all it is right now.
Xavier Legette 4.39 on his second attempt. Luke McCaffrey second attempt 4.5. Let's see what our buddy Lad McConkey does. I want to see Adonai run again. Here's McConkey again. He ran a 4.43 the first time, 4.4 the second.
Oh, wow.
Dude, he solidified himself. And now Mitchell's running. I'm waiting for Mitchell to run again. He ran a 4.35. Bradbury stunk last season, but the whole defense kind of did. It all makes sense. They'd give him another chance. I don't think I think the cap numbers they don't really have a chance. I think Bradbury lost confidence after the Super Bowl. I really think that Schuster messing with him in the offseason messed him his head up. That's my theory.
Yeah, I believe it.
All right. Bub Means is running, and then Mitchell. I want to see Mitchell run again. Bub Means is a great name. Bub Means. I like that. He ran a 4.49. Slade keeps contradicting himself. He keeps saying he doesn't have negative feelings towards the Philly fans, and he says Philly fans are the only ones that got under skin. I know. But I think it's so funny that he had to bring in Nelson to actually talk about the Eagle fans. Like, it's definitely in his head. But, I mean, listen, dude, they stunk last year at the end of the year. I don't understand how any player could think that they're not going to talk about them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can't go on a podcast every week. You want to talk about the game, how it went, and stuff like that. That's fine, but he gets triggered pretty easily if bad things are said about him.
Yeah. Come on, now they're interviewing somebody. I want to see Mitchell run. McConkey looks good. That just sounds so weird to me. But it's not the same McConkey. Do you think Nakobe Dean is the answer or part of it? Here's is this Mitchell run? I feel like it yet to be determined. Like I think that people are giving up on him really, really quick, but at the same time, he hasn't showed us anything at all.
You're not available. I mean, you have been available. So you've been IR twice, was hurt. You were hurt. I mean, you can't get hurt during OTAs and joint practices and preseason. That's what gets you prepared for the regular season. Even though they didn't play too well, but
I think Nakobe Dean, I think this is a make or break year for him. I think it's a make or break year for Jordan Davis. I think it's a make or break year for some of those guys, but if Dean can't stay healthy, it's not going to help, because I feel like with Dean, it's like, he makes mistakes on the field, but he's not getting enough rep because he's not healthy long enough. He needs to play and stay healthy. I'm waiting to see Mitchell run.
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
They cut away right before he was about to run the second time. Guy ran a 4.35 the first run. Now they're talking about Luke McCaffrey. John Jones says, guys, I think it could be it for Howie because he's got some pressure on him to hit this draft and next year, depending on what happens this draft. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? You think Howie could actually be on on the chopping block.
I can never see Jeffrey Lurie putting pressure on him. I think he made Howie put pressure on Nick, giving him the ultimatum of, fire your coordinators or, you could go, and I think, that's what was made for him to do. And they've given Nick no control over the coaching hires. I mean, none. They did a lot more. They did a lot more with the coaching hires than I expected them to do. I didn't think they were going to go that crazy with it. I mean, they completely just revamped that whole coaching staff. So
I knew I'm not surprised by the amount of coaches that they fired. I was surprised about the amount of experience that they made sure to bring in. You have a defensive line coach who was literally a defensive coordinator for Seattle last year. I love that pickup, by the way. I swear, I think he's there for Jordan Davis because he's big enough to beat his ass. I mean, that dude will get to Jordan Davis. But I mean, we'll see. Mr. International, what's going on, my man? He says, I drafted Adonis Mitchell a few days ago in Madden, and he had a hidden development trait and produced for 5 years, 1,000 yards each star trait play. Really? Dude, I like him. Would you draft a wide receiver in the first round? Would that not shock everybody?
It would be a total shock. Crap. It'd be a total shock.
Yeah. Yeah, I think something. I mean, like, listen, what I don't want to see. Okay, I don't like the whole Justin Simmons rumor. That doesn't do anything for me.
No.
Do I really want another 30-year-old safety to come in? Like, are we going to just keep doing this, or are we going to change things up?
Yeah.
I would rather go younger and inexperienced on defense, have an upstart defense, and then make my offense have no weaknesses.
It's
30 points a game.
It's already enough that you want to, that there's 30-year-old, 28 to 30-year-old, safeties available in free agency, but to trade for one and give up compensation on top of acquiring a 30-year-old safety, that's not going to be here long term. No. It's not great.
Just go spend the extra money, save the pick, go spend the extra money, and get CJ Gardner-Johnson back. Seriously.
I think that's going to be the test. I think the test is, well, Howie, look how much money you have. What are you going to do with it? He never has this much cap. He's going to have more. This is close to $50 million. And that's from one move.
Right.
And we haven't even, Hassan Reddick is a whole different story right now. They get you over 60.
And I feel like Reddick is that move. Like, in my opinion, depending upon what happens with Reddick, takes our offseason and totally
I've said this a million times. I think it totally changes everything.
To me, if you trade Reddick, then I look at the Eagles and say, well, are you really trying to win next year? And if you keep Reddick, then I say to myself, you've got to try to win next year. So I really think it depends on what they do with Reddick. DB Talk now says, would love to see Dean put on 10 pounds and watch him flourish under the new defensive coaching staff. I agree. I would love to see that too. I've not given up on him yet, but I need him to stay healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You like Ladd McConkey as a guy to be a slot receiver for you?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, because
he looks like he would be good there.
He changes direction on a dime. I mean, he's an in space, like I wouldn't say Tyreek Hill-esque, but he could stop in space, turn direction on a dime at 100% speed. I mean, he's fantastic. They could use him on so many different levels. I mean, I think I remember too, like Britton Covey. I would really like for him to get involved in this offense. On some third down. He's more of a gadget wide receiver. So,
yeah.
His breaks, dude, like Ladd McConkey's breaks are like, whew, my God.
They're just actually talking about McConkey on TV. They said that Daniel Jeremiah said that he thinks McConkey is more than just a slot. He thinks he could also play outside, which is great, Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I want to see Donovan Mitchell run 93 catches last year, 1,400 yards.
Jesus.
He ran a 4.35. Oh yeah. I know. I'm looking at him. Yeah, like yes. You know, I mean, that would be a crazy. Nobody would think it's coming, but geez, you would then cover yourself wide receiver for the next 6 years.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like if, well, knock on wood, like if somebody ended up getting hurt or something, like who walks in right now? Like that's a problem. Like last year, they could have moved Quez inside, outside. They could have maybe used more Julio Jones if they had to. But it's early in the process right now. But what if, God forbid somebody goes down for a couple of weeks? Like who takes that spot? You know what I mean? Or you need a number 3 guy. So there could be a guy here that falls down, or I don't know.
Yeah. While they're showing Mitchell, they're doing a simulcast with A.J. Brown, Adonai Mitchell, and Julio Jones. How about that? And Mitchell beat both of them. Brown ran a 4.49, Jones ran a 4.42, and this kid just ran a 4.35, but they're all the same, I guess, size coming out of college. Oh, man. Mark, they were super chat, my man. He goes, trade Reddick and Sweat. Then, yeah, well, then we could say congratulations on the NFC East Dallas Cowboys. Sign Chase Young and Burns. We would be set for at least 5 years. What do you think? I think that you would, dude. Burns would cost you. Let's see. So that's $30 million. You figure 13. That's $43 million.
It's a downgrade. It's a downgrade.
It is. Yeah, I think it's a downgrade. You get younger, though. I mean, you do get younger.
Yes.
But,
if you're winning right now, I mean, if you're trying to win right now.
Well, you're paying Reddick, what, 20? You're going to pay him like 20, and you're going to pay Sweat 20. So that's like $40 million. So, yeah, it would be ballsy. I think if you could not – I can't trade Reddick, though. I mean – I know Burns is good, but man, Reddick, yeah, I don't know.
That just shows rebuild. That just shows rebuild to get rid of Sweat and Reddick. That would be horrible.
And the other problem is Chase Young. I think bringing in Chase Young as a third defensive end is is fine. Do it because he would be your third guy, but this would make him your second guy, and he's got to stay healthy and prove that he can stay healthy. I don't mind taking a chance on him as a third pass rusher, but as my second, I don't know. Yeah, CJ Gardner-Johnson's got to come back. I can't wait. I can't wait for the free agents. I just can't wait for it to start, man. I'm like dying here. Hung Meow. Interesting name. Filippo, you need to invite Mark Holmes, the grown-ass man. He could come on. All you have to do is text me. Yeah, we cut Kevin Byard. That's correct. $13 million we saved. We need a great defensive line rotation like 2017. I agree. I think you definitely need to upgrade the rotation. And, I mean, that's what I've been saying. Like, you've got to upgrade the rotation and keep Hassan Reddick. Like, I don't see how you can trade Hassan Reddick and then, you know what I mean? I don't know. Dean has got it. Dean has got it from him tackling Derrick Henry with one arm while being held. Yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah, he took a look. He looked good because he took over in 22. He took over in games where the Eagles had leads, and he came in and flashed and did well. He flashed, and when the Eagles had leads, he got into some games. But as a full-time starter, his availability has been the biggest question. I mean, I won't put too much into how he played because everybody didn't play well, but a better coaching staff, obviously. But his availability is the number one thing that makes me nervous. That you can't just walk into next season and say, "Oh yeah, Nakobe Dean is definitely." You got to put competition in front of him. That's right. It's not enough. You sign 1-year deals all over that position. So
yeah, No, I hear you. Frank says, what are your thoughts on the rumors of Eagles signing project punter and European soccer store Malik, your ball sack? I thought it was serious for a second. I was like all intrigued. And then I said, oh, Malik, my ball sack or whatever. Thank you. You got me. ADW, the beat David Super Chat. He goes, McConkey or McCaffrey, which would eat for us? I like the idea of McConkey just from, it's just a quick look. He looks like a guy that would fit right in our slot, but I don't know. McCaffrey, I have to go really study him more. I know he's got his brother, so we'll see.
Yeah, I like
What do you
McConkey
think?
a lot. I like Lad McConkey. I've been on the Lad McConkey train for a bit, so on the train.
Not
Not his train.
Not
yeah.
Right. I understand. Right. What is the combine? Oh, yeah, it's on the NFL Network. Let's see. Dean's availability is not as big of a problem as people act. Do we forget he was basically a redshirt linebacker his rookie year?
Okay, so
but he got hurt his rookie year. Didn't he get hurt? Late in the year, his rookie year.
I don't know.
I think he got hurt. Like I think he got hurt, and then he came back. Last year, he got hurt again. Then he came back, and then he got hurt again. So in his 2 years, he's never healthy. He's
four times. Been hurt 4 times in 2 years.
I feel like I'm not giving up on him, but
no.
He's got to play.
But don't, because the Eagles went to last offseason. They were like, oh, we have Nakobe Dean. Don't worry. Like they went in knowing Nakobe Dean was starting, and they were just going to add some 1-year deal pieces around him, and that was it. They thought Nakobe Dean was going to go off last year with this defensive scheme that they had under the coaching staff that they had. But this year is completely different. Don't make anybody comfortable at these positions. Make them uncomfortable. Don't have them think that they're going to start. Like Nakobe Dean needs to. There's got to be a lot of. See if they would read Blankenship. Put as much competition in that room as possible.
Oh yeah,
as much as possible.
Oh, I agree. James Smith says 500. There's a rumor that the Eagles are getting a backup quarterback from the Jets. Who is Zach Wilson? Are you talking about Wilson? Because Wilson got permission to seek a trade. Jesus. I saw that. I don't want Zach Wilson at all. But if they think something they can develop, I guess, you never know with the Eagles and these quarterbacks. They like to develop.
Don't even waste your money. Especially don't pay a backup quarterback $5 million. Like at this point, it's a waste of money, and that was a waste of money last year.
Yeah.
So
Robert says Reddick is coming back. Yeah, I think Reddick's coming back.
I
think there's more likely he's coming back. The question is will he come back and get an extension, or will he just play out his contract? The Eagles are not going to just give him away for nothing, Joey. They're not going to give a guy double-digit sack away. I don't even think a second-round pick gets it done.
No, it's got to be more than that.
A 500, would you be mad if we keep Cunningham? I think we are. I wouldn't be mad if he's a backup, but you've got to go out and get linebackers. Like, I think you have enough money to get at least one starting linebacker in free agency and then draft a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I think Van Ginkel's already looking for homes, because I think if there's one guy I'm almost positive I felt like will be here, it's Van Ginkel. I close my eyes and I see the sideline. I see Thor with his long hair, and I see skinny Batman. Batman and Thor are going to be playing on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Also says Van Ginkel, CJ Gardner-Johnson would improve the defense immediately. Agreed. I don't dislike Van Ginkel. I don't think he's the best linebacker out there, but I think probably for the price, I think they probably could get a decent price and get production from him,
And scheme fit too. Like he played the best under Fangio. He played his best year under him. So why not sign big money with the defensive coordinator that made you successful? So,
and I think CJ Gardner-Johnson was he was missed so bad by the Eagles, not just for his play on the field, but I think the way he carries himself, I think the attitude, I think it's a big deal. So I think those guys are,
Yeah.
No, I didn't say I don't know. You must be talking somebody else. I didn't say he was a bust. I said it's too early to call him a bust.
Right.
He's got to play. Let him play. But I do think that if we go through another year in Dean and he's hurt and banged up like this, I think he's done this to Donnie Mitchell. Oh, he fell. He tripped. He's all right.
And McConkey is smooth on those catches.
Oh man, I'm like, man, wide receiver round 1 would be crazy. Yeah, CJ would be a great move. CJ would be a great move.
I think it has to be the move. Like, I feel like it has to be the move.
CJ Gardner-Johnson?
Yes.
Do you worry about, because I saw some fans talking about, Slay had issues with the Eagle fans, and so did he. Do you think that would be a problem? I don't think it would be.
Chauncey got attacked by Eagle fans because everyone was pissed off that he signed with the Lions and he took less money over there. Whatever this backloaded contract from Howie Roseman, it was like a 3-year, $22 million deal or something, and it was backloaded to where he was only making most of his money his last year of his deal. It was just backloaded. I don't know what the relationship is or how it broke down, but Howie couldn't wait. I think Chauncey wanted to get paid as a safety, and teams weren't going to give him that. He played safety for 1 year, and he wanted safety money, not corner money, obviously. And most of them looked at him as a corner more than a safety. So I don't know, something with whatever he did with that. I don't know. There were some stupid talks.
I also think that they overvalued themselves because I think a lot of teams took it as like, all right, he played 1 good year at safety, but, it's not enough to put all this money in. He did it for 1 good year on a team that was getting ridiculous amount of sacks, and that's how I think teams looked at it. They kind of wanted him to do it 1 more year. But now, he did come back for the playoffs. I don't think he had a great NFC Championship game, but he did come back and he did play. And I don't know that I don't know how much money he's going to expect this year in free agency.
Can't be much.
But if I'm the Eagles, I mean, how old is CJ Gardner-Johnson? He's got to be, 26 years old?
Yeah, something like that, 26,
Let me look it up. I want to see what I think he's, really young.
Perfect contract to have. At least give him a 2-year deal.
26.
And then
He just turned 26 in December. Literally just turned 26 in December. See, that's what I'm saying. Why do I want to go out and trade for Justin Simmons, who's 30, who I might have a year? I mean, we trade for Byard. Byard's 30? I don't know how old Byard. I can't remember.
Yeah, but if you sign Chauncey, you're not signing him to a 4-year mega extension. It's going to be like a short extension to where they'll think about giving him a long-term deal if he.
See, you wouldn't sign him to a 4-year deal. So I would sign CJ Gardner-Johnson 4 years. I'd go 4 or 5 years. He'll be 31 years old when it's up. I say sign him. Sign him.
It's the perfect. Yeah, it's the perfect time where his age is at too. It's a perfect time.
Yeah, it's perfect. He solidifies it. Then and I think having him there makes Blankenship better.
Yeah,
because I don't think Blankenship is your number 1 safety. Okay, I think he's a good rotational safety. I think he could be maybe a solid number 2, but
don't piss people off. Don't piss people off now with that, because a lot of people that's what I'm saying, dude. You gave an undrafted free agent a chance. He looked really good, and he still looks pretty good. But do people not want to give him competition? Does everyone think that Reed Blankenship is the best safety we've had in recent years? Is he the next? I don't know. I don't know what people think of him as, because I don't think
I think people like him because he hits. He actually hits.
No, I get it.
But I listen, dude. CJ Gardner-Johnson is a turnover machine. I think he's got a nose for turnovers. He was a huge loss. If you bring him back, man, changes everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this is Donnie Mitchell, mother humper. I look at this guy, go, man, just outside the box thinking. You go out. You get Derrick Henry and Swift, and then you draft a wide receiver in the first round. Tell me where your offense is going to ever not score.
Yeah, I know. Like I mean, they need that third option and a future one option for later on if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, and you purely do it because the reality of what AJ Brown is I don't know how you keep him and Devontae together another 3 years. I don't know how you do it.
That guy's fat. That guy is quick.
Who?
That Donnie Mitchell. Donnie Mitchell.
Mitchell, he's fast. He ran a 4.35, 6'2", same size as Brown and Julio Jones, and he's faster than them. My basement says CJ Gardner-Johnson definitely makes Blankenship and the whole secondary better. He's helps everyone. He's a ball hawk. I agree, and he gives them a swagger they didn't have. Like there was a Twitter post about Bradbury getting pushed around, and that if CJ Gardner-Johnson was there last year, it wouldn't happen. I mean, he talked mad smack to Deebo Samuel. I like CJ Gardner-Johnson, dude. I do. I would love to get him back. Fabio Davis Super Chat goes, CJ downside is tackling. Yeah, we're not saying he's perfect, but man, he definitely helps your secondary. Ladd McConkey is a dynamic slot wide receiver. He would be everything Watkins would. I think he would be great.
He'd be an upgrade.
I would love something like that. I mean, just, if you just do something differently out of the box, it would be very interesting if the Eagles said, all right, you know what? We're going to go out. We're going to get our Van Ginkel because we know we have to. And we're going to get Van Ginkel. We're going to make Hassan Reddick happy. But we're going to go out and get Swift back, and we're going to get Derrick Henry, and then we're going to draft a wide receiver in the first round, and then with our 2 seconds, thirds, everything else is defense. And then we're going to play the young guys and let our offense carry us. I love that idea, man. I love it. That's what we wanted to do last year. Yeah, I didn't think Ladd was that fast either. I thought he was ready to the McConkey from the Giants that used to drive me nuts. Like I said, Mitchell was super explosive in my Madden rebuild. I paired him with J.J. McCarthy and the Falcons. He was literally running the pass defensive backs. I like it. I like it. Yeah, the Eagles got Deshaun Jackson in the second. That was an Andy Reid pick. Why people think we need a slot wide receiver? We could get an outside wide receiver and move Smitty to the slot. See, I think you got to keep Devontae where he is. Now, if you want to move guys around, I'm okay with that. But I don't know. I wouldn't move. I wouldn't ever take Devontae out of the outside.
Never do that. No.
I mean, look, certain play you can move guys around. I'm okay with that. But man, just let Devontae be, man. Devontae Smith is just needs targets.
Mm-hmm.
What about offensive tackle? Lane Johnson is picking up for his replacement for the first round pick. That could be possible. If there's a legitimate right tackle who is there and he's heads above everybody else, then I'm okay with it. But the chances are, if you get a tackle that good, he's going to go way before we pick. Usually those tackles don't last long.
No.
But if you tell me there's a right tackle and he's in the draft and his upside is way better than all these other guys, then I'm taking the best talented player. Yeah, Smitty needs that extension.
He'll get it.
Yeah.
He'll get it.
Dude, the Eagles are going to go wide receiver in the first round. Oh, my God, I'm having crazy thoughts, man. Torteville, it's all Torteville's fault. He planted the seed. Now it's got my brain is slowly starting to spin. But I'm seriously, I'm thinking about last year's draft. We talked about this. Make your offense.
even
better than it was.
even if they sign a wide receiver 3, you think a possibility they would still hit that position?
No, not if they signed one. But and if you're Howie and you're looking not just for next year, but you're saying, all right, listen, we need a third wide receiver, but we know in 2 years AJ Brown's not going to be here anymore. Why not get somebody who can move right outside when the time comes? Seriously, I mean, it's not a, if you get a guy that will eventually be a starter on the outside, but in the meantime plays in the slot to give you third wide receiver. I mean, could you imagine? Like, imagine if they got that Mitchell kid or something, and he turns out to be a stud, and now you have those 3 guys for 2 more years, and then when AJ Brown goes, he goes right outside, and you have him and Devontae for the next 5 years.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's a crazy thought. It's not what you think. What we think is the Eagles are going to go out. They're going to get defensive players, and they're going to get this, maybe a defensive end or edge rusher, and then we're going to just go for there. But if you think about it a few years down the road, it could be one of those like future moves.
Well, they get a guy or from Ladd McConkey too. Like, they get a guy who can play outside, inside, that's quick off the line, explosive off the line, change direction. Like, they could use him for, specific things. I mean, he's a little small, obviously, but I mean, the guy, see what he does on the NFL level. We'll see what he does on the NFL level.
See, what I don't understand is if you look at the Eagles and you look at Nick Sirianni and you look at, and let me just say this for people, especially that are going to watch this back later, like, we're just speculating, trying to think outside the box. We're just thinking about different ideas and scenarios. We're not committing to anything. We're just brainstorming. But for a coach and a team that says we're an offensive team, we like the offensive big plays, and it's offense. But when they have a chance to really upgrade that third wide receiver position, they really never did it like to the effect that they can. What if they just put resources into like immediate resources into the offense and then said the defensive players we're going to draft, we're going to plug them in and we're going to let them play and learn. Now, they'll have learning. Don't make mistakes. The defense will be a working project, but it'll get better as the year goes forward. In the meantime, nobody's going to be able – our offense is going to carry us, and we're going to put up 30 points a game. I mean, it's not that bad.
Yeah, Kellen Moore will get productivity out of every position in his offense. Like, he needs to get as much out of it as possible, because they're not going to have a Quez Watkins type player at receiver or some guy like that that's really hasn't shown much. Like, they want to upgrade. They want to upgrade that position right now and get this offense moving. While you still have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith still here, this offensive line, and obviously Jalen Hurts that can extend plays on his own. So I'm excited to see what they do at that position. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's good. The whole off season, like, it's going to be really interesting to see what they do. I agree. Let me see here. Where was I? F it. Get Simmons, CJ Gardner-Johnson. So I don't want Simmons. I don't want 30-year-olds 1 year. I don't want to do this again. Like, I want to get away from the 1 year piece together our team.
Right.
Let's just get young guys. You got a great offense. Let's just boost it up. Make sure we have no weaknesses, and then let's go get players and let them learn.
True.
That's what I think. Frank says, I'm not sold on Blankenship. Brown needs to heal. We really need 2 safeties. Yeah, I mean, listen, I know that there's some people that absolutely, I think, overvalue Reed Blankenship. But listen, to me, I feel Blankenship is a really good depth guy, and I think he could be a solid number 2. I think he could develop that. The way I guess I see the safety is maybe, like, I'm thinking maybe you don't have it all set up for like right away. And don't forget you have Sidney Brown. So Sidney Brown and CJ Gardner-Johnson may be your starters in a few years. But in the meantime, you got Blankenship. I think getting 2 safeties would be great, but as long as we get one, I think we can survive.
Right.
You know. Whoever thinks the Eagles are going to draft the receiver in the first round should definitely be working for the NFL. I don't think anybody thinks that the Eagles are going to draft a wide receiver.
Shots fired.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't even understand that. Just because just because you talk about scenarios doesn't mean you're anybody's signing off on it. Otherwise, how you got?
I don't. Then why are we? Then why are we here? Then why do we do this? Do we do like I don't. You gotta have fun with it too. Like I don't get why everything's gotta be serious. We have to be in a certain
I don't know. It's definitely not serious. I mean, we just talked about Jerry Jones marination. I don't think we're very serious here. But you should be able to brainstorm and talk about ideas. This idea nowadays that you can't say things or talk about things that everybody else doesn't think because it's bad. It's like, dude, I can't do it. I have to be able to think about all situations, and doesn't mean I buy it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what if we do this? What if we do that? That to me, that's interesting. Antoine Winfield Jr. free agent. Yeah,
that's huge.
That would be big time, big money, and I don't think anybody could get upset at that. If CJ Gardner-Johnson comes back, we might get him a reasonable price, not
100%
overspend.
Yeah, that injury.
Yeah,
helps.
I mean, I think because he didn't play a lot last year, I think it helps in terms of price. Maybe he wants to come back too, So I don't know. We'll see. Philly, don't talk about Mark Holmes' dad, Jerry Jones. He will cry in the air. Mark is losing his mind lately because of the the whole Dak Prescott thing. I don't know. It's crazy, man. But we shouldn't talk about it. We should only talk about what we should get like a script mailed to us and say, here's what you can talk about, but here's what you can't talk about. Don't talk about this, but you talk about that. What fun is that? What is this? What are we in the Soviet Union? Well, kind of guess we kind of are. I want Derrick Henry. We could use him in the red zone. I would love Derrick Henry. Not just for the red zone. I mean, you could do so much with him. Can you imagine Derrick Henry on this? You know what I mean? On this line, it'd be unbelievable. Mr. International says Eagles need to coach or to catch up to the Chiefs, and end of discussion. Chiefs, man, the Chiefs are going to be tough again. I think the Chiefs are going to get a receiver.
You might.
Let's see. Joey in 500. This debate also needs to be settled. Current A.J. Brown or T.O. when he was on the Eagles? When he was on the Eagles? Man. I would say I think probably A.J. Brown had a better career with the Eagles. But, T.O., man, if T.O. would have stayed with the Eagles for 3-4 years, it would have been T.O. But he left. He had one good year, and then everything broke down. So you have to go with AJ. Yeah, I said run the ball. Yeah, I like that when he says that in that thing.
Yeah, it's a big question. I mean, it's all a big question mark. Rumors are starting to go ahead.
No, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Nothing valuable.
I was just gonna ask you, what do you think the next domino? Like, what do you think that the next thing that's gonna happen for this team? What do you think the next move is?
I think the next thing that's going to happen as of this, I think coming this next week, I think next Wednesday, I think Kelsey's going to announce if he's retiring or not on New Heights. So That's
you
the
think
next.
is that what he said?
I think that's what he said. Yeah, he's gonna announce it next Wednesday. That's the next bit of news we're gonna get. And then hopefully the Hassan Reddick stuff is next. Hopefully that's got to get done soon. You can't let this get in. I mean, he's still on contract, doesn't matter, but you can't let this string out past March 11th. Like, that money needs to be used. It doesn't matter. I mean, the Eagles could just spend it. If they know they're going to extend him sooner or later, they'll just sign whoever they're going to sign. But
yeah. Not another Philly fan. Those are probably the quotes of Darius Slay. Our Eagles are going to ignore the run game again. Yeah, I hope not. I hope not. I mean, one of the things the Cowboy fans used to complain of was that they'd said Kellen Moore didn't run enough, but I think he ran a lot more than we did.
yes,
I don't know. I say, I'm all about the Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift combination next year, man. 1 year, just let's go at it. Let's do it.
Yeah, even at least he gets the running backs involved in the passing game. At least he does something with them. He definitely runs more than we do, but he gets them in the passing game, though, which is great. So,
yeah, exactly. Frank says, I want Eckler or Pollard. I'd take any other top 5. Why Pollard? I mean, I don't know. I thought Pollard was very disappointing. I mean, I'm not a Cowboy fan, but from what I heard and Cowboy fans said, I mean, I don't think they were that impressed or happy with Pollard. I mean, they're all talking about getting Derrick Henry themselves. I think they're the team to watch with Saquon Barkley, to be honest with you. I know there's a lot of rumors about him in Houston, but dude, I would not be surprised if Dallas makes a play for him at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just everyone's opinion. That's right. That's right. Exactly. And the great thing about us is that all opinions count, and they're just opinions, and we respect it, whether you agree or not.
And we're not always right. We're not, we're right, we're wrong.
No, I mean, we're just thinking outside the box because we're trying to think, all right, what is the quickest, best way for this team to get back to, being competitive in a Super Bowl? What can you do to be instantly get there again? But not do it in a way where you're just bringing in all these 1-year guys that are going to be gone when the year's up. How do you do it and make it sustainable? And that's what we're thinking about. That's the whole point about talking about the offense.
Right.
I actually like the idea of making your offense better. Now, I'm not saying draft a wide receiver in the first round. Obviously, I think I would like to see a corner. I want to see them draft a corner that could come in and start right away. That's what I want to see the first round. But the idea that you could go out and get a Derrick Henry and Swift and have no weaknesses on offense at all, and then have all these young defensive players that are going to actually learn to play and be there for the next 4 or 5 years, it's a very appealing to me, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's you have to, like I said, you could think more outside the box because you're not just thinking about this year. There are players in this draft where you could say, oh, these contracts are about to expire in a couple of years, and this guy will be in the building, and you'll have another pass catcher, you'll have another wide receiver. If you draft somebody out of the box that you've never thought of, got to think down the road too. It's not just this year; it's future. So,
yeah. Let me see here. This is an interesting comment. Recco says, had it with Lurie and Roseman's silliness. They lose supporters unless they get their shit together. Be loyal to fans and players, and the goal of winning the championship. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that are kind of fed up with that and the inner workings of how it operates. And I totally get it, I do, and Howie doesn't really come out. There's never at the press conference, they don't talk about how the front office is accountable. You had the coaches change, right? You got all these new coordinators, all these new positional coach who was basically held responsible for last year. But what is Howie's role in that? What is Howie sitting there going, all right, I got to do this different. We got to do this different in the front office. What is going to change about what he did last year and what he does this year? That's what I'm waiting to see,
Mhm.
because they're not going to tell you, you know what I mean? But, like, if he goes out and they start putting money, let's say they go out and sign Van Ginkel and Patrick Queen in free agency. All of a sudden, you're going to say, all right, they've changed their philosophy on linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
41 to 33, David Super Chat. He goes, Casey said using a franchise tag on Snead. Chris Jones, a free agent, top 5 to 10 player in the league. Kansas City uses tag on him, $33 million. Go get him. Well, I think they're only using the tag to trade him, right? It's tag and trade.
Yes.
So he's going to get traded. Chris Jones, I mean, what can you say, dude? The guy's a stud. Anybody that said sign it, it's hard for me to argue. Do I think the Eagles would do it? No, because they got 2 first-round picks at interior. But I mean, I get it. You know, as far as Kelsey goes, I'm going to be interested to see if he does retire. You think he retires? I think he's coming back one more time.
I think he's been at the. He said he's been at the gyms, like just making sure he's working. Like, why would you go back and work out, stay in shape just in case you're coming back? I mean, it feels like it's going towards the direction he's coming back. So
right. David says, "What are your expectations for Isaiah Rodgers?" My expectations is that he's your starting slot corner, and that he starts, and that he's fairly good, and he's a solid piece, and that he's basically going to replace Avonte Maddox, and Maddox is probably going to be gone.
Yeah, so that's the idea right now.
Yeah. Frank Reynolds says, Phil, your idea makes sense. Our window is now with this offense. Makes the offense unstoppable, make the D young. Yeah, exactly. And then your offense, puts up points, carries your defense, and the defense gets better as they play and time goes. And then, in a few years when, hopefully actually by the end of the year, they start playing really, really well on the defense, but it allows you to be sustainable for the next 4 or 5 years. I'm just really tired of the 1-year deals. I'm tired where we go out and, like 2017, what do? We went out, we got a bunch of guys 1-year deals and things like that. And then you lose all these guys. What did we do last year? We lost all these guys and we brought a bunch of 1-year deals.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Just back to square one. It's just
and then we losing guys 1-year deal. Now we're talking about the Eagles are interested in Justin Simmons. It's like, I'm tired of that route. Let's make it sustainable, So if you want to do that, you gotta do things a little different.
You trade for a veteran like that if you're like a piece away, or you got too many holes in this defense to be trading for a 30-year-old that. And I hate giving away draft. I hate giving away draft picks, and I think for older players or players in general that you can't keep in the building for more than a year or two, barely even that. It's just, I hate doing that. Even if they're 6th, 7th rounders, who cares? But they're still draft picks.
Right.
I mean, still.
Well, it just seems like we always get these guys 30 years old. How many of them work out? I mean, the amount of guys that didn't work out that were past their prime is way more than the guys that give you 1 year or 2 years. It just seems like the whole Justice Simmons is like, why are we going out and getting Justice Simmons? Like, that's a trade. Like, I understand that if it's like the season and the trade deadline's coming and you're injured and you need a player, then do that. But right now in the offseason, when you got guys like CJ Gardner-Johnson, McKinney, Winfield, when there's other safeties out there, let's go that route. I don't want a bunch of 1-year deals again.
True.
41-32, they ever Super Chat goes, trade Davis, pair Jones with Carter, unstoppable. That'd be interesting. That would be really interesting. I wonder what they would get for Davis. I think Davis. I look at Davis as make or break season. I think this is a make or break for him.
Right. I agree.
Joe Vegas says, Howie screwed up hiring the wrong coaches. These coaches did not improve the rookies, brought confusion in order to see needs. You have to have those young players at the position. Yeah, it's exactly right. And the question is with the guys that they went out and got this year, are they going to be able to fix it? See, it worries me a little bit that, we're talking about a scheme that we've kind of watched the last few years and don't really care for. And you fire the coach that was running that scheme, but then you bring in another coach to run the same scheme that wasn't working. That worries me. Now,
But
maybe Fangio will be better. I'm sure he will, but it's still the same scheme that caused problems before, no?
Yeah, but you're getting the top guy that knows how to run the scheme, that has more control in the Eagles organization. So hopefully, that helps. It definitely, we're not a fan of the scheme, but like we said the other day, like at least as long as we get the top guy that knows how to use the players, and there's an accountability thing towards it too between the players, and he's not gonna he's gotta get the right players athletically for this team, because they. As of when he was hired, we're like, dude, they don't have the roster for this scheme at all.
And the thing is, I was just reading something on the whole scheme, right? And they said the most important thing in the scheme is you got to have good linebackers. Well, it's like, we're running a scheme, you have to have good linebackers. And then you see what we had at linebacker last year. I mean, what the hell was that? What were the Eagles even thinking last year if the linebackers were that important? It just
didn't seem like they were that important. No. Basket with Nakobe Dean last year. That's what they did. That he would be the.
Why? I mean, TJ Edwards left for nothing. You could have kept Dean and TJ Edwards, and you'd probably be okay. Matt Gonzalez says, "Is Davis a bust?" I don't think Davis is a bust. I think that his make or break season is this year, but Jordan Davis has shown flashes of being really, really good. He just has to be consistent with it. But I think if he doesn't show us anything this year, yeah.
The what? No.
If Jordan Davis doesn't show us anything this year, like in terms of conditioning and being in shape enough, then he's not going to be there, because he should be, like, as a player, a first round player, he should be so motivated to go out there this year. And I think it's a make or break year for Davis. Go Eagle 72 says, Tony Pauline from numerous sources that Snead has been dealing with a knee injury that prevented him from practicing for long stretches last season. That could be a worry, But the thing is I know the Eagles are the odds. The Eagles are literally the odds.
Top odds.
Yeah. I don't think they're going after him. I don't. I honestly think that when I look at Bradbury's contract and Slay, I don't think they're going to go after him. I think they're going to draft a corner. I think they're going to draft one in the first round, Joey. How about that?
Yeah, I mean,
Joey's going to be running around in peanut butter, everybody. Peanut butter running around. Tell everybody, if you don't mind, your what you said about. Was it linebacker or
was it was linebacker?
Oh, linebacker. Tell me what you said about linebacker.
Yeah, I said if the Eagles drafted a linebacker in the first round, I'd go outside butt naked in whitey tighties and spread peanut butter on myself and roll around in the fucking backyard. That's what I would do. But I know it's not going to happen
when it goes viral.
Yeah,
and what they're saying, Philly fan goes crazy. Oh, it'll be great. I saw somebody here say Jordan Davis is a bust. I don't believe Jordan Davis is a bust. I mean, dude, if you go back to the Buffalo game, if you could just go back to the Buffalo game, and we talked about the play he made, but if you talk about not only like after that Buffalo game, the week all week was how great Jordan Davis has been this year, how good he has been. It's funny how quickly people forget all those things. I mean, people talk about Jalen Hurts was horrible this past year and all that. You go back to right after that Buffalo game, guess who was the odds to win the MVP? It was Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys weren't all bad all year. Jordan Davis wasn't in good enough shape, and he fizzled out, and he hit a wall, and that was it. They need good coaching. They do. They need
everybody. That's why I can't put too much into Jordan. I mean, yeah, I get it, but the coaching aspect is just you don't have a good rotation, and it's hard for me to take out a player and say they had a horrible year, and a lot of them didn't. A lot of them hit a roadblock. A lot of the defensive line, especially, it wasn't even just Jordan Davis.
No, I mean, if you look early on, Jordan Davis in the lineup against the run. We were like number one against the run, and it was mainly Jordan Davis, and then it all just collapsed, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He has got to be in better shape, but nobody can tell me that he does not have the physical ability to be great. I truly believe that he does, but he's got to have the want and the desire to want to be great, and make sure that when he comes in, he's in really good shape. I think he should be about 325, dude. So he plays around 340.
Yeah,
I think maybe 325 is too, but I think 330, somewhere around there, 325. I think he needs to be about that size. You know, the one thing about Jordan Davis is, like, when early in the year, nobody could block him one-on-one. You couldn't block him one-on-one.
no.
I don't know what the hell Brooklyn Joe's talking about. I tried to like you guys, but I give up when the fudge pack. What the hell are you talking about, fudge packing? I don't know what you're talking about. I think you mean peanut butter packing.
Yeah, peanut butter.
We don't care. Dude, I'll talk about it all day if it drives you nuts. David Tall says, if he gets 312, 15, 325, it would help, I think. I think 315, he would look like skinny Batman. But, like, I think like 330, 325, 330. I think it's like, I think that's where he needs to be. You know?
I agree.
Corey Davis says Patrick Queen. Yeah. Oh, I would love to get Patrick Queen, dude. That would be awesome.
He'd be the highest free agent. That's be a lot of suitors for him.
Message from Golden Eagle says offensive line with the first pick, cornerback and wide receiver with 2 second picks. Interesting. So you're going 3 picks all offense. And that's outside the box. You know, what can I say? You know, that's outside the box. But what would your plan then be in free agency? It would have to be heavy defense in free agency.
Maybe it'd be easier for them to sign guys defensively in free agency with the money they have. I don't know.
Well, I think that, and I think I look at running back though, and I say, man, you know, you look at the running backs in the draft. I think you got way more talent in free agency. So that's where I would go with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see. You know, it's going to be interesting. We got 464 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new, hit the like, make sure you subscribe, click the link if you're on my channel, and sub up my man Joey Shakes.
Shake us.
Yeah. You hear rumors Washington Commanders going to get Caleb Williams. I heard that they want Caleb Williams, but I think I don't know what Chicago's. I guess Chicago's going to trade Fields for Williams. You know, we'll see. There's so many different scenarios to take place, and we're all just waiting for free agency to start.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to see what Chicago does with Fields. If they trade him, obviously, then you know they're taking a quarterback. Also, we got the reports that DeAndre Swift is going to wind up in Washington.
Really hope not.
Yeah. What do y'all think about Justin Jefferson's a stud, absolute stud, and the Vikings are looking to possibly trade him because they don't want to pay him. I don't know. I mean, he'll end up somewhere and do great. I don't think it would be in Philly, but
they want to move up for a quarterback. But I mean, Jordan Addison ain't going to be it over there as the number one guy. Maybe, I don't know, but
you have to improve your defensive edge rush. Sign Burns, a young draft cornerback, linebacker. I love the idea of that in terms of you're getting 2 pass rushers, because I think you need to improve your pass rush. And then if you could draft, I really think that if they draft a corner in the first round, those guys could come in and play tomorrow. Like, you know what I mean, Joey? Like, you're getting a corner, you're drafting, he's playing right away.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of it. And then I would sign a safety, and then I would sign 1 linebacker at least in free agency that can play, and then I would draft one. I think it would be awesome.
Yeah.
I say this, man. I say build this team, but do not do it with a bunch of one-year signings of older guys.
No,
You know,
future.
make your offense, improve your offense so it's got no weaknesses, and that it can carry your defense, and then load up on young talent on defense and let them play.
I agree.
Frank Reynolds says, I keep hearing Howie is on the hot seat, and it's a make or break year. Howie's never accountable because everything has been Lurie's decision. Think about it. It's the only explanation for Howie. Yeah, I don't know that I believe Howie's on the hot seat either. I've never seen him be on the hot seat except for when he was put in the boiler room. But in a way, I hope that Howie is on the hot seat, because when Howie gets really aggressive, this team has good years. Years he's aggressive. We have great years.
When's the last time we've seen him when's the last time we've seen him have a lot of money to spend?
A lot of money.
Remember.
I don't remember a ton of money, but I remember, going into to the year we went to the Super Bowl. I mean, Hassan Reddick was the big signing. It was like one of the biggest signings of free agency, and we were very aggressive that year with getting Hassan Reddick, getting CJ Gardner-Johnson. Right, we got those guys, and I thought they made a big important difference. And we go to the Super Bowl. 2017, you go out, you get Alshon Jeffries, you get LeGarrette Blount, you trade for Jay Ajayi. They did so much defensively, or in 2017, also, and boom, you win a Super Bowl. The years that Howie has aggressive all seasons, the Eagles move the needle. Joe Vegas says, you guys are the best for Philly sports, period. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I think when you take 2017 in general, like every free agent they signed was productive. There was one guy that didn't produce that they signed.
Yeah. It's been it's gonna be interesting. I really think that you gotta really wait and see. Like, I feel like this Reddick thing is gotta play out. Like what happens with Reddick? I don't like the idea of getting rid of Reddick. I just don't like it. But if you did get rid of Reddick, then what Joe Vegas says, right? You got to go get Burns and another guy.
Right.
House Cat says, imagine having arguably the best player you could possibly ask for at this position, and you don't want to pay him. I'm talking about Reddick, right? Is what I think he's talking about.
It's not necessarily they don't want to pay him. Like, they probably would have kept at the number this year that he wanted, but he wants more money. It's not that they don't want to keep him. Like, this is Hassan Reddick wanting more money and going out and talking to other teams and figuring out what his number is.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. Another Philly fan says, we can't let Reddick leave. You don't trade clutch players. We need him to get back to the ball. I agree. I mean, Reddick is legitimately your best playmaker on defense. I mean, he actually changes the game on defense. You can't. I agree, and I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I think they're going to let him go out, look for a contract, see what he's going to. But I don't think anybody's going to give him what they want compensation for. I think at the worst case scenario, Reddick plays in the final year of his contract. I just can't see it. Let's see. You were talking about JJ should have clarified talking about JJ. Oh, okay, yeah, Justin. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I agree. I don't know how Minnesota. I mean, I guess what I'm hearing is that Kirk Cousins is going to end up in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
End up in Atlanta. So they, maybe they go into rebuild mode. I don't know. I mean, what would Justin Jefferson even cost? If AJ Brown was a first and a third, Justin Jefferson is at least 2 1s.
Do the Vikings want to the Vikings looking for more compensation because they don't have enough draft capital to move up for a quarterback?
I think they don't want to pay him that much money. They got no quarterback, and I think they're looking like, it may be a few years before they're competing again. So they don't want to pay him all that money. Where does he end up, though? That's the question. The one place you can't let him end up in Dallas. I'll tell you that.
No.
Who would go after him? That's the question. You know who should go after him? I'll tell you who should go after if they can afford it. Kansas City. If Kansas City will win another 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous. But that's if I was Kansas City, that's what I would do.
But Kansas City doesn't need any high priced receivers. They know how to use. That's why I respect them so much, because they could take, they'll take wide receivers that, and put them as running backs. They don't need to pay guys like that, because every Kansas City wide receiver that has left has not been successful anywhere else.
I think that's the greatness of Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes doesn't, who I forget. Somebody said to me the other day, like, why can't Jalen Hurts win with bad receivers like Patrick Mahomes? And I said, because he's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is probably one of the only guys that could do it. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. He's that good. Mike says, my guess is re-sign Reddick, sign Van Dinkle, maybe sign safety, draft a cornerback or edge first round, draft linebacker, offensive player second. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. I think that the first round is going to be either cornerback or defensive end. I think it'll be one, edge rusher. I think it'll be one of those two positions. I feel like that it's going to be like that, even if they go out in free agency and address it. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah. We'll see. Steve says Jefferson won't end up in Dallas. They don't have enough footballs to keep them. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't think they would. He would anyways, but that's the one place I wouldn't want to see him. Mahomes is a great player, Let's see. Never mind. The Giants have $30 million in cap. They can't get. I don't think Jefferson would want to play. If you're Justin Jefferson, you don't want to go play with the Giants. No. I like the Giants need a quarterback. Giants are trying to figure out how to trade up for a quarterback. The Giants are going to have to take a few steps back, man. Andy says, thanks for the chat today, guys. Where's McCaffrey projected? He looked smooth and routes are crisp. He'd definitely be a great third. I think he's like a second rounder somewhere in there.
Yeah, probably be a day 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I think somewhere around there. But man, yeah, there's going to be some interesting receivers. If the Eagles want to draft a receiver, to replace the third wide receiver, not in the first round, but like second round or something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Big Pickens says the coachings will show to be missing piece. Team will look so much better. Kansas City Chargers have coach. Yeah, I think coaching was a big problem.
It can't get worse. I mean, it really can't get worse. It can't be worse than last year. That's for sure.
Oh God, no, it can't. It definitely cannot be. John Jones says that comes from the owner. Jeffrey Lurie gave Howie a pass, meaning it wasn't all Howie's fault when it came to drafting. Yeah, he definitely he's given him multiple passes, But like we talked about, we went through the roster and the cap and all the guys that are big cap numbers, and they're all guys that are from other teams. And that's because we didn't draft well. Howie has to. I think he's gotten better, but he needs draft come out of the draft with 2 or 3 starters, in my opinion. I think.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Yeah. Get a corner that you could put in right in year 1. Boom. Get a linebacker that's going to come in and going to play. Boom. It's got to happen. So we'll see. Anyways, we are over 2 hours in. We were planning on doing about 2 hours today. Is there anything that we haven't talked about or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we covered everything. I mean, the news today, So next time we're going to be streaming consistently like this will be the draft. This will be we'll have our shakedowns every week. We won't have a shakedown tonight though. Since
no shakedown tonight. No.
Yeah, no shakedown tonight. So we'll, next time we do consistent, 3 days, whatever it's going to be, a few days, it'll be the draft and we'll be ready for it. So.
Yeah, it should be fun. Well, you want to do like another 5 minutes and then we'll get out of here so we can get any final questions in or anything like that. it's going to be, you got to wonder with the combine too, because tomorrow the combine ends, and you've already heard it, but you're going to hear a lot more this coming week of all the conversations that were going on about players to be traded, and there's just so much going on at the combine, not just with these guys working out, but like players, agents talk to coaches and different GMs, and so it's going to be interesting to see what develops of that.
So
I think Hassan Reddick is the big what factor right now.
So Reddick's trainer, I guess, his personal trainer, Eagles fan, worked out with Hassan Reddick at the gym today. He says Hassan told him he wants to stay with the Eagles. So he said his name is Jerron Dunn. Says, I'm a personal trainer, so we ain't really talked too much about his contract, but he said he wants to stay in Philly. This is from his personal trainer.
I believe he wants to. I believe he definitely wants to. It's going to be a numbers thing, but like I said, I mean, if you're the Eagles, are you really going to just give up a second-round pick or just take another second-round pick and let him go? See, I don't think the Eagles are going to get enough compensation to make it worth it. So, maybe they, there's got to be a way they can do an extension with Reddick, like 3 years, where they can get out of it. You know what I mean? Like, what is there a number? Like, would you pay Reddick like $20 million if he was willing to settle at 20?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit. It's going to be between the 20 to 22, 23, probably 20 to 23 million.
Yeah. See, I would like to get Reddick to stay, and then I would like to go get Chase Young. And, and you have Reddick, Sweat, and Chase Young. Those are your three big pass rushers. And that's not including what you're going to get from the interior from like Jalen Carter second year. But they're saying that what's his face? Carter's Chase Young is going to get somewhere around $13 million. I think. I mean, they were paying Brandon Graham $13 million a couple years ago. I would do it.
It's not a bad price. No, for a year, it's not a bad price.
We're not talking about him being your main pass rusher or your number 2 pass rusher, but like a number 3. I think it would be a huge upgrade. But we'll see. I really am. I really like this whole offense. Build the offense, and then go young defensively in the draft and let them play. I love that idea so much. But we'll see what the Eagles do. We talked about it last year. That was the plan we wanted last year. If we had to end up getting Bijan, but then they signed Slay. They brought back Bradbury, and it kind of once they do that, you can't really do it anymore.
Yeah. Right.
Frank Reynolds, man, welcome to Tinfoil Dingbats, my man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, man. Actually, we're going to be doing a Zoom Tinfoil Dingbats soon, maybe as early as this week. So look for that. But welcome to Tinfoil Dingbats. Thank you so much for joining. Derrick Henry and Swift would be dead. It would be. I mean, it would be. How do you stop that offense? Seriously, you have Swift and Henry, and then you have your passing game, and you have the best offensive line in football, and Hurts can still run, by the way. I think it would create so many problems that, you might still have holes on defense or you have young players. I think you're scoring 30 points a game, Joey.
Yeah, with that, you should take pressure off Hurts a lot with that backfield, no doubt.
Man, it would be nasty. I think Henry's got at least 2 more years left.
Mm-hmm.
And he might take a 1-year deal to show that he's still got something left and he can get a contract,
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Tyler Guyton is the Oklahoma right tackle. They are interested in the first round pick by Lane to be his man. Okay. I mean, listen, it makes sense. You in that you're going to need a right tackle. As long as when it comes to first round, to me, the most important thing is I just gotta have guys that are talented. It's gotta be the most talented player.
Yeah, it has to be.
A guy we got to pay attention to this year is Milton Williams. He ended the year. Yeah, I love Milton Williams. And he rotates in, man. Yeah, he's a great player.
Play inside and outside. Like, he could move around.
He was one of the few guys I felt like didn't quit on the season,
Mm-hmm.
Him, Devontae Smith, They didn't quit.
And Moro Jomo did pretty good at the end of the year too. He had some tackles at the end of the year. He made some good plays. They gave him a shot.
Right. Yeah. He's another guy. I mean, that's why I think I don't think Fletcher Cox is coming back. I think Kelsey's coming back. I think Brandon Graham probably comes back really cheap, but I think Fletcher Cox is gone because you got your Carter and Davis, and then you got Ojomo and you got Milton. I think it's time, dude.
Let go. Time to let go.
Yeah. Torreyville says, I think Ojomo is going to surprise people. He was a great run stuffer in college, and he's athletic. I've liked what I've seen from him, I like what I've seen from him, but let me get this here set up. But is there anything else, man, before we get out of here?
No, I think we went over everything, all the news today, and I'm also looking at the running backs today, and receivers have been amazing. Be so much in the coming weeks.
Sorry.
There'll be so much to come in the coming weeks with the receivers, so it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, I like the receivers we saw, and there's some of these guys are going to be available second, third round. So the Eagles could definitely draft a wide receiver then. I'm leaning right now after the combine. I'm leaning towards drafting a corner in the first. That's what I think they should do. And I don't mind edge rusher. It's just that from what we're seeing, it's like it's like 3-4 edge rushers are off the board by 15. So I think corner may be the move. You could probably move up and get like Mitchell. I mean, I would love that kid, man. I would love him. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting, man. I can't wait for this to get going. That's for sure. And let me thank everybody that joined us today. Really, really appreciate it. Shout out to you guys. Make sure you click the link in the description if you're on my side. Go sub up Joey. Make sure you hit the like on both channels. And yeah, man, I guess that's pretty much it. We'll get out of here.
Yeah. I think we're good.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, hanging out with us for a few hours today. With that said, we are going to go. You guys have a great day, and we're going to let the Cowboys choking take us out. Peace.
Plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad! No!
It's over! It's over! This game is over! Cut it off! It's over!
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay.
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today. That was on you, Dak. That was on you, Dak. That was on you, Dak.
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott. Trying to feed the Lamb. You tried to feed the CeeDee Lamb. You got to give it to CeeDee Lamb. God. It's over. It's over, Dak. Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Jerry Jones taking it. Cut it off. It's over.